Clemson at Miami Saturday, 8 o'clock. This thing's on ACC Network, and the reason is because there are 4 combined losses here. And I have it on good authority, someone's got to lose their 3rd game Saturday night. Believe it or not, and it's going to take a stretch for you to believe this, but believe it or not, I think both teams are in a good spot in this particular game. Clemson's in a good spot because they've done nothing but win since the Florida State game, and they're off a bye. Dabo said they're as healthy as he thinks they've been all year, so there's that. Miami is what we would call double do up. In other words, we don't believe that you just keep having turnover misfortune forever. Eventually, there comes a game where you get it right, or maybe you're even, imagine this, +1 or +2 in turnovers, and your outcome radically shifts based on that. Well, the logic for a long time that's been pretty sound is the more bad turnover games you stack on top of each other, percentage-wise, the more likely you are to springboard into a good one eventually. And we're going to say eventually is this week. So I think wounded animal mode, to say the least, is what you would find Miami in right now. But now comes the very, very unfortunate task I have of informing you that Miami has not won an ACC home game under Mario Cristobal. Paper pop stat number 1. Paper pop stat number 2. Miami's last home win against Clemson was 1956. That was the year Morocco gained independence. That was the year the Philadelphia Warriors beat the Fort Wayne Pistons for the NBA title. And that was the year, and whom could forget this one, that was the year Whipper Billy Watson beat Lou Thez for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Great match. Lou Thez press was probably broken out at some point. So it's been a while, in the words of Stain in the early 2000s. But what does all that mean? Well, it just means that Clemson's 113th in explosive plays, and if you can limit that and not turn the ball over, you got a good shot to win the game. That's what all those stats mean. Mima always told me, stats are good at predicting the past. Predict the future, Joshua. Don't look in the rearview mirror. Live in the windshield. So let's live in the windshield. 103rd in turnover margin. That's Miami this year. Terrible. They've been giving the ball away. You want a ball? Here's the ball. You want a ball? There's the ball. They are 124th in penalties this year. Very undisciplined team. Now, I would say that that's a death sentence, but Bama's right down there, and they're still in the thick of the national championship conversation. So it's not the death sentence that it seems like. But I just wonder, can you give me a clean game? Can you play not mistake-free, but can you limit them? Can you force them? Maybe you force Clemson to make some mistakes. You've got the number 1 offense in the ACC versus the number 1 defense in the ACC in terms of yards per game. I know everybody who watched that North Carolina offense the other night would tell you, I'll take that offense over anyone. Yeah, I would too. I'm speaking strictly in terms of yards per game, and the advanced crowd always loves when I talk yards per game. It's about to be really bad for the loser here. Really bad. Think it through with me for a second. If Miami loses this, 3rd straight loss, 3rd straight conference loss, still haven't beaten Clemson at home since 1956, still don't have a home conference win under Mario, and it'd be really bad really quickly. It already is. They need to salvage a season down there. If Clemson loses, that's a 3rd conference loss for them too, and we're still a couple of weeks away from Halloween. What are we saying about Clemson? I know what I'd be saying. What are you saying about Clemson? What is Dabo Swinney saying about his own program at that point? My advice, if anyone up there in Clemson is listening, is don't let this game come down to a field goal. 4 of 10 this year. Yeah, I don't think I need to tell you that because you remember how those games have come out in the past. We've got a situation here. We've got a wrong team favorite situation. You remember how this turned out the last time we said that. Chaos Monday through Friday, and then we look like geniuses on Saturday. So, Colin, let's see what the model thinks. The Vegas number right now is Clemson -4. We think the wrong team's favored. We think Miami -1 is the right number. It's just been horrifically skewed because of very poor turnover luck the past 2 weeks. Not luck. It's undisciplined, like they've given the ball away. We're going to roll some dice here. We're going to say the turnover monster does not completely devour Miami like an unstoppable rebel force this week. I hope I've been vivid enough. And we're going to not only take Miami to cover, we're going to take them to win the game outright. Now, either way, it's going to be a topic on the Sunday show because either way, it's just going to be grossly toxic around the losing program here. That's the beauty and terror of college football. So you may think I'm crazy riding with Miami. That's okay. That's okay. What I don't want to do is be on them one week, got the bad turnover luck, so then I'm off of them the next week, and then the turnover thing flips, and then they win, and all of a sudden you're like, why can't I get a read on Miami? I think I know the quality of team they have. They have to play that quality of game. That's what I'm saying.